Okay, let's go over the install and setup of order flow Pulse for NinjaTrader 8. So when you log in and you go to the indicators page, you'll see the first one here. Order flow Pulse is real-time order flow tool for NinjaTrader that puts institutional activity front and center. The current version is 1.2.4. So you may see a different version by the time you see this video. The license is required. So there is a license that is required, and you can view that on the pricing page. So after you download it, you want to go to NinjaTrader and you want to install it. Now I'm connected to the playback, so I can show you some things on the chart. And what you want to do is you want to go to Tools and you want to go to Import NinjaScript Add-on. When you go to Tools, NinjaScript Add-on, you click on that and you choose the zip file that you have downloaded. Now, sometimes it's going to ask you, do you trust this provider and things like that? Just click yes, and then also it will ask you, it has to add some like assembly, whatever. Just click yes, and then it will go ahead and compile the add-on, and then it will ask you to restart NinjaTrader. Now, when you install it, you'll see the menu right here, OFB, and then you'll be able to see all the other add-ons that you have installed for order flow bars. Also, when you update, if things did not change, then what you can do is you can come in here and go remove Ninja Script Assembly. Okay, so when you click on remove Ninja Script Assembly, a window will pop open and you will see order flow bars pulse. I don't see it on my window because I am running a local version that I am writing the code for. But if you ever run into any problems, just go ahead and click on Tools, remove Ninja Script Assembly, choose Order Flow Pulse, and just go ahead and remove it. And then you can do a clean install through the Tools, Import Ninja Script add-on. Now, when you first load it up, you're going to see a license is required. What you need to do is just go down here to your settings. You click on settings right here and you click on the license down at the bottom, and then you can go to your profile page and you can copy and paste your license in there. So after all this is done and you have the license in there, I am looking at the range bars. So I'm just going to go over the settings for a range bar because that's what I mainly trade off of for scalping the NQ. I am going to go over the settings on the NQ. These are going to be different. The settings are going to be different for whatever instrument you're trading, ES, gold, crude oil, but I'm going to go over the NASDAQ. So on the very top, you see show price line. That's just going to show a gray line where the current price is, and it just travels with the price, kind of like this little pill box right over here on the price column. Show level 2 data. When you click on this, there's going to be a histogram that shows the bid and ask uh, on the right. Also, the heat map will be on the back. Now we also have the show volume profile and show delta profile. Show volume profile, if you want to show it, that will show you the blue volume profile right here, and then show delta profile. This is the delta profile. Show large volume profile. When you click on that, that will show you the large volume of single order contracts that are coming in if you have single order contracts chosen for the bubble mode down at the bottom. If not, then it's going to show you the aggregated on a histogram. Now, if you ever go in and you don't see anything when you're on real-time New York trading hours, you have to come over here and make sure the session for RTH is chosen. Show delta persistent signals. I don't see any on the chart here, but those are going to be, you'll see it up on the candle or the bottom of the candle. It'll say plus or minus the delta surge, and we'll go over that. The session is overnight or RTH, real time trading hours, which is New York session, or overnight, which is the Asian session. Show delta. Show delta. If you just want to show the delta that's down at the bottom here, you can choose bottom. If you only want to show it for the candle, it'll show you the delta on the top or bottom of the candle, or you can do both like I'm showing now, or none if you don't want to show the delta at all. Now let's go over the delta surge. The delta surge is something that I have used for scalping, for delta scalping. It's something that you can use that will keep you in a trade, or it will let you know it might be time to take profits. Delta surge, I have this set to 100. And what this is the delta has to surge within microseconds to 100. That might be a little high. You can set it to 75 for the NQ if you want to do that. Now, the stacked levels are set to 3. This is not a stacked imbalance level. It's just a stacked level of 3. So there has to be, like the NQ travels in quarter increments. So you have whole, quarter, half, okay? So it has to stack 3 levels, like let's say quarter, half, 3/4. It has to stack that much, 3 levels, and it has to be positive. The volume has to be higher than the selling, and then the price ticks of 2. I would not set the price ticks any higher than 2 or 3 for the NQ, or you will get very little signals for delta surge. And you can show delta persistent signals. Now, what this is that the delta has to surge 100 delta within microseconds, and it has to have 3 stack levels of buy-in, of 3 stack levels of buy-in and selling. Now, this is not like an imbalance ratio thing. It just means that there's more buy-in than selling in 3 levels. And the price has to tick up twice. So NQ, if it ticks up and then it ticks down, when these two are still good, then it's not going to be a signal because the price has to tick up persistently 2 times. It has to tick up and tick up again. So that is the delta surge. Now on a range bar, I have ticks. So, and on a tick bar, you'll see where it'll say ticks for the tick bars. And I think I have it defaulted to 500. So the range bars I have set to 48 just because of the environment that we're in with the news of what's going on in the political climate right now. Now the bubble mode is aggregated or one order. If you choose one order, these large bubbles right here are only going to show what you have in a large volume here. So if you have 30, one order, that means a bubble is only going to show when there are 30 or more contracts within one single order. If you have aggregated, you want to probably keep this to around 75 or 100 for the NQ. Because if you set it too low, there's going to be too many bubbles. And you won't even be able to see the candle. It'll be like you're looking at like a live pulse heat map. So I would be careful about setting that too low. Now in the future, what I plan on doing is having one order, aggregated, or both. Right now for the aggregated, I want to explain the numbers here. Like right here, you have 114 aggregated volume. The number up at the top means the largest single order contracts. So there was only 9 contracts within one single order. Now, if you look over here, you see 103. Over to the right, you see 103 aggregated volume. and the highest single order contracts was 49. So it was 49 contracts in one single order. That was the highest. That's what the top number means. Now the tick merge. The tick merge, when I am trading off of a 1 minute, I will normally tick merge this to 4. And what that does is that it merges the price here and it merges the candle to 4 ticks for the NQ. So it will take 4 ticks of the NQ, which is 1 point, and merge all that data together. And that's where you'll get the information. That is a tick merge. The imbalance and the levels. The imbalance ratio I have set to 4. There needs to be 4 times more buyers than sellers or sellers than buyers. And the levels I have set to 4. So it has to be basically 1 whole point of 4 times more buyers than sellers. Now the VP tick merge. This is the volume profile tick merge. As you can see right here, we have the volume profile. And if you change this, let's say to 8, and you click save and apply, it's going to merge all the data for 2 points. So if you set this VP tick merge to 4, then each bar is going to be 1 whole point. You'll have to play around with that to see what you kind of like, or as far as merging the data. Now, this down at the bottom is minimum volume, resting orders, and DOM depth. This is mainly for level 2 data. If you don't have level 2, you don't need to worry about this. I'm going to write some areas up here. More than likely, I'm going to take the persistent delta and then put it below down in here. And I'm just going to have areas right in here where it says main settings, and it'll say persistent settings. And then down here, it'll say level 2 settings. That will be coming in the future. So the minimum volume of 1, there has to be at least 1 volume, or if you set this to 5, there has to be at least 5 volume for the heat map to show up, or it has to be a minimum volume of 5. It has to be at least 5 volume for the bid and ask to show up on the histogram. That and you have to show it here, show level 2 data, heat map, bid ask DOM, which is on the right. Now the resting orders, our orders is resting orders. That is how many are sitting on the bid or how many are sitting on the ask. If you set this to a low number like 5, you are going to see a very thick heat map. And if you set this too high, you're not going to see very many. I kind of like have it set in the center. Sometimes you have to come in here throughout the day and maybe change this around. Now the DOM depth is set to 100. And the reason I set this to 100 is because I do not care what's 500 levels above me. That means nothing, because as the market's moving, all of that is going to be updated on the DOM. So I really want to keep this low so I can actually see what's going on the DOM when I actually look over there. I kind of want to see the numbers on the bars. Now, what I'm going to be doing in the future is when you tick merge the volume profile, it's going to merge the DOM as well. Or I think if you tick merge the main candle, it's going to merge the DOM to whatever you have set here. But that is not set right now. I have not added that code yet. But this is the settings, and these settings change for, let's look at tick bars. Tick bars, as you can see right here, tick size 800, and then you have the 30-second, the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5, and the 15. I'm thinking about adding a 30-minute. And all these settings, when you save them, it's going to be saved for each mode that you have up here. As you can see, the account, you choose the account. That is for the chart trading and the hotkeys. The mode, when you click this, you'll see range bars tick 30 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute, 15. An older version, like 1.2.4, has live pulse. I have changed that and made live pulse its own add-on. So when you come down into NinjaTrader and you click here, you'll see pulse heat map. That is going to be version 1.2.5 because I'm refactoring the heat map to make the performance better. So those are the settings and what they mean. You're going to have to play around with it, whatever market you're trading. If you're trading the NQ, those numbers are going to be set for the NQ. If you're trading MNQ, those numbers are going to have to change because the micros trade a different volume. Also, what I would highly recommend is to look at the many contracts because institutions, especially for these numbers that here in the large bubbles, the institutions are trading the minis. They're not trading micros. So you really want to know what the big players are doing in the market. And what you can do is you can come down and go to OFB entry and you can have an entry window. And let's say you want to trade the micros. And I do this when the market's a little bit too volatile and I do not want to be trading two or three minis. I will go to micros. You can go MNQ and then M6, and then it says subscribe, MNQ M6. You can click on hotkeys if you want to trade the hotkeys, or you can trade right off of the order flow bar entry, and then you can trade the MNQ. But I would highly recommend looking at the minis for whatever contract you're trading, like ESNQ. For crude oil, I'm not too sure. I don't trade crude oil anymore. So that is how you install and configure Order Flow Pulse. In the mornings when I'm live streaming, I will go over my settings, what I'm using for the day. So that's all I have. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you very much.